What's it been like this week, last few weeks, given the way that results are going? Not too many smiles around the place.
It's not been ideal. I think that goes without saying. But at the same time, we're not going out there to play bad. No one's intentionally going out there to play bad. That's just the way it's going for us a bit at the minute. Not through lack of effort, probably more some lack of understandings, I guess. That's what we've tried to nail down this week. Making sure we're all on the same page in both attack and defence. It's just, I think that's what it's been. That's all I can put it down to. I know it looks for other people, but I can't pin it on lack of effort. I can pin it on people trying hard, but not trying hard as a unit. Does that make sense? Like, maybe not all doing the same thing. Maybe someone shooting out from here, the rest of the team not going with him, or someone. Do you know what I mean? We need to go together or hold together. That type of situation.
So with the lack of understanding, then, is that in your partnerships within the block, within the team, and is that because you're trying new things, new coach?
I wouldn't say. Sorry, what you just said then. New blocks.
Yeah,
not through necessarily lack of partnerships. Probably there's a couple of new people that's come in. There's a couple of people that's come in. New coach is probably the big one. He's I played for him before me, so I know his philosophies. I know his system. I understand his system. So I feel like I'm not going to say I've played all right, but I understand him enough to, like, I'm on the same page as him. It's new for some people. I've never played for under his type of system. It is different to others, to people that we've had in the past. But at the same time, he's got the record that says it works. So the quicker we all figure that out, them sort of defensive systems and them attacking systems the way he wants it, then hopefully the quicker we can start picking up some results, because it's not ideal, is it?
As you say, you played under him before. That was at Warrington, who you're playing this weekend. How has he changed as a coach? Because it's been a few years now since he was there, isn't it?
His systems are pretty similar. Definitely in defence, his systems are similar. The same. But his systems in attack is a bit more free flowing. He wants people to go out there, and if you see something and you feel like it's on, then have a go. And that in a sense. As a person, he's a lot. What's the word?
He's a lot older than when he was.
Yeah, he's a lot older, a lot more. He wasn't tough to talk to at Warrington, but it was a lot more coach-player situation at Warrington. He's not like that now. Like, I feel like if I walk into a room and I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with him, I feel like I can talk to him and not feel like I'm going to say anything that might be out of term, if that makes sense. Do you know, it's more of a friendship. I feel like that's how I feel with him. Whereas at Warrington, it was very like, he's the coach, you're the player. That's the sort of relationship we'll have. But now I feel like I treat him not more as a mate, because it's still that he's the boss at the end of the day, but like a bit more free, a bit more comfortable around. Does that make sense? Not that I was ever uncomfortable around him, but yeah.
With the way things are going, does it need a few kicks up a few backsides, do you think?
Definitely. That goes without saying. Definitely needs that, but I'm not going to pin it mainly on that. There's the odd kick up the arse here there, but I do genuinely believe it's from when we've sat here and watched video. It's more people not trying together as a team and stuff like that. It's more individuals coming out of systems, and not through lack of effort, but through over trying or overdoing or like jumping the gun type stuff. It's not. There is people underperforming for us as a team. Like, looking, there's no doubt about that. That's quite clear to see. But I feel like we're conceding a lot of points because we're not all on the same page at times, and that's probably what we've hammered down this week.
You played really well against St Helens. You came back against Lee, but couldn't quite get over the line. So we all know that you can do it. It's the starts of games which seem to be a problem. Are you maybe not being wound up as much as you should, or perhaps too wound up at the start of games? I don't know.
See, yeah, it is a question. Not starting with the right intent. That's definitely the point at Lee. We didn't start fast enough. We're 16 down there. If you get rid of that first 15 minutes, we obviously win the rest of that game. But that first 15 minutes in the grand scheme of things has cost us them points, and that wasn't the case at Saints. You could maybe put it on a couple of personnel changes. I can't pin it on anything in particular. It's probably been a bit of a theme of this club, unfortunately, but we are trying hard to get away from that. But it has been a theme of this club over the last couple of years that we don't struggle to get up against the big teams, which isn't good enough. We maybe drop points on the ones that we shouldn't drop, and in that sort of sense, like I can't put my finger right on it, but we was there while thereabouts at Saints. I can't think of the tries, the short drop out, the short side play where they've got us on a little bit of inexperience, and not putting it on him, but Davey had a little bit of inexperience, myself not getting up, and they didn't really pick us apart, whereas they picked us apart. So I can't put my finger on it right now. I just know that we're all trying our hardest. No one's trying to play like.
So when you say about there's no problem in getting up for the big teams, there's no bigger team at the moment than Warrington with a 100% record. How do you go about trying to end that record?
Through self-belief. We know what we've got in the room when we're all in, and we know how good we can be when we're all playing good. And I've got no doubt that we'll come out at the weekend, like you said, because it's Warrington, it's a big team. It's that, either that's us, that's the way we think. It's like, let's see how good you really are if you're one of the big teams, and that's probably the difference between when you play against, I'm not going to say but the lesser teams in the comps that aren't as high as your Saints and your Warringtons. It's we're a bit off here, let's go out and give it hell for leather. We need to make sure that that's the same attitude, even though we're not a bit off against the lesser teams. Does that make sense? That we make sure we still have that same intent from the get-go. But I know that we'll come out firing against Warrington. I have that belief, and I have that belief in my teammates. And
how special is it with it being your former club and virtually your hometown team as well, isn't it?
It is a hometown team. I'm a Warrington boy. Like I always say that I'm New Zealand born, but I'm a Warrington boy. That club means a lot to me as well. Obviously Tony took me when I was there. I was at a tough point in my career when I went there, and I found some real good form when I was playing there, and I know I only stayed that 1 year, but that club means a lot to me. I didn't grow up following him, that's the funny thing. I didn't grow up following him. I grew up going to games and I never supported him, but being a Warrington boy and being from that area, and that'll always probably hold a special place in my heart anyway. It's the team, if we're not playing, that I always back for. It's a big one, but we've got them this week and we need to get going. So
you're one of many players at the club who's out of contract at the end of the season. Some fans are starting to wonder whether that plays into people's approach to games, maybe subconsciously. I'm not going to be here next year, or I am going to be here, or I need a new contract. Is that a factor with so many, do you think?
I can only speak personally, and it doesn't change anything for me. I don't. Whether I'm here next year or not, that doesn't determine how I play. I'm just trying to play as good as I can. That doesn't determine. I don't think about too far ahead. When I was a kid, I did. I used to think about stuff like that, and I realised that everything it pans out anyway. And if I'm here next year or I'm not here next year, whether it's my decision or the club's decision, it'll always be because of what I've done. It's not because. So if I've played good enough and I wanted to stay here, chances are they'll keep me. If I've played good enough and they want to keep me here, do you know what I mean? It's never going to be. If I was, let's just say for example, I wasn't here next year, it would only be down to me. Does that make sense? Whether that be because I didn't want to be here or I didn't play good enough. Do you know what I mean? That's in my control. That's how I feel about it anyway. So it doesn't affect the way that I think and try and get up for games. Everything's down to you as a player. If you rock up and do what's right, then they're going to want you in a sense.
And at what stage do those conversations start taking place?
To be honest, I actually don't know. I haven't been off contract for a couple of years. I've had a couple of injuries. It's well noted. I actually couldn't tell you. Right now is not a good time, is it? I'm not looking for. I'm certainly not going in looking for answers. I'm too busy thinking where we're going to get our next 2 points from here, because we need to get going. It's not like us, is it? Like we're notorious for starting fast and falling off. I'm not saying that. I'm hoping that this means that we might come home strong, but I'm not saying that we've started slow on purpose. It's not good enough how we started. But I'm hoping that it picks up and I've no doubt we've got the right man to do that. His resume speaks for itself. So.
I know it's always one game at a time, but just round the corner is Good Friday, and that lot from over the river. Are the players thinking about that yet? Because fans certainly are, aren't they?
I always get asked this. I don't. To me, it's another game. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm not a Hull boy. I don't know. For me, this game, the game in front of you is always the biggest one. So, in a week's time, that will be the biggest one. But right now, Warrington's the biggest one for me, and yeah, that's the way I think.
Well, you'll do well to ignore it even over the next few days. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Really enjoyed that.
Andrew,
How are you?
obviously you come back from 2 really tough injuries since you've been here now. You've got a few games under your belt. How was that rehab process for you, and how tough was it, through? Because it was April last year, so obviously round 3 when you came back.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? To be honest, it was April I got injured. I actually don't know.
Yeah, April. It was Good Friday, right?
Yeah, I remember it being Good Friday, but I don't know my dates. That's Paul, 'cause I'm Christian as well, so I should know that. I'm sorry, but I didn't. Although it was April, I got injured. I didn't want to leave. What's the word? At the time, we were going all right. I didn't want to miss out on what could have been last year. I know it didn't eventuate to anything, so I didn't get the operation straight away. So I actually didn't get operated on until the end of May, because my ACL wasn't fully ripped. It was intact a bit, and there'd been other people that had done that and rehabbed it and came back from it fine. So I did about 4 or 5 weeks rehab to try and see if the stability was there, but I just knew myself it wasn't right. So I didn't end up getting operated until the end of May. So that's probably why I didn't come back till round 3 this time round. It wasn't ideal, but that was the decision I made last year. And to be honest with you, mate, it's been touch wood, like really touch wood. It's been easy. Like I've done my right one before, so at first it was tough, like mentally, but the actual process after that, I've enjoyed it, like surprisingly. I did my right one before, so I knew what the road ahead had for me, and I knew what I didn't do good enough last time, that I needed to do better this time. And when I came back from that one, it was from the right side one, it wasn't right. It was a bit. I wasn't 100%. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at the time, and I'd had longer off. But I knew what I hadn't done as good, and I made sure I did it this time round. And as soon as I got out there with the boys, I was confident in that meet, like real confident. So yeah, I'm touch wood. It's been fairly smooth.
I've also noticed that obviously came off the bench at Catalan and started the last 2. Probably grown as your performances in those 3 games. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. On a personal point of view, I'm not going to say that I'm over the moon that I've played. But I'm not going to say I'm disappointed. I didn't expect to come back, play that Catalan game, and then start the next 3 after and play 80 minutes in all 3. Yeah, I didn't do any pre-season. That's probably a well-known fact. So I was worried about my lungs a bit, but to chalk them 3 off, yeah, it does. It gives me confidence. I feel like I've played reasonable. There's a way to go. There's stuff that I need to work on. There's stuff that we need to work on as a team. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not proud of the last 12 months' work to get there and to be back out on the field with the boys. Yeah, I'm quite happy.
You spoke about obviously team stuff, about individuals coming together as a team.
Yeah.
That shows, as cliche as it is, it's not an individual. This stuff, it is a team game, isn't it?
Sorry, go again.
So you spoke about individuals and you spoke about coming together as a team.
Yeah.
It just shows that rugby league. It shows how important the team is getting that right.
Yeah. Well, definitely, and I think that probably it probably shows in the tries that we've scored. We've done video this week, and one thing I lent on was I don't know the last good try we scored at the minute, and that's tough for me to say and say that. Like aesthetically, on the eyes, Clifford's one at the weekend looks nice. The Swifty one at Leeds looks nice, but they're potluck tries. You get what I mean? Like it's sort of maybe, yeah, it might be a bit of individual brilliance that's got us them tries. You take them as they come, that's fine, but we're sort of relying on them at the minute, and that's what we spoke about as a team this week. We're not sitting on. Our setups aren't where we'd like them to be as a team. we're not shifting as much as as smoothly as we'd like them to be. Do you know what I mean? So I think we've had a bit of an emphasis. Everyone's sort of clear this week on how we're going to do it. We're not just going to wait on them sort of individual big plays. We've got a bit more about what would. Does that make sense? And yeah.
Obviously, as a right edge, you've got Carlos back as well, so some players that have been out a long time. Is it a patience game with you two? Is it a case of you're both going to get, and obviously you play together loads of times, obviously you played 50th game at the weekend, but is it a case of you two getting better now as the season goes on as a right edge duo?
It's always about this much outside then. I think it's always about getting better, whether none of us had fell down and we'd both played the rest of last year and all of this year. It's always about, you can always get better. There's no better week for me in the comp to do it. It's a big test. You know, we're going to have Williams, Covey and Watchford coming our way. That's probably the best left edge in the comp, in my opinion. It's a big challenge, and for me and Lossie, we've played a lot together. It has been a road. Like, we've done a lot of it together. We've done a lot of rehab together, a lot of our return to play stuff together. So I'm buzzing for him to be back out there. He's obviously got the captain's armband this year as well, so it's given him a boost in confidence. But like you said, for us as a right edge, we need to get firing. Hopefully that helps us.
Obviously for yourself, it was your 50th game for the club. Nice little milestone for you.
I didn't know, Tony told me, and Tony told us all in video it was my 50th, Lossie's 150th. Of course. It's been a bit of a rocky ride here, but I feel like whenever I've put the jersey on, I've always tried my best, and I know I've had my injuries and whatnot, but I'm proud to play for all. I'd definitely say it's one of my, in rugby league sense, it's one of the best times I've had in rugby in terms of the teams I've been at. Like Hull and Warrington are the two that stand out for me. I've had good fun here, I've made some good friends, and I really enjoy playing here.